You're listening to Whispers of War.
Hello everyone and welcome to Whispers of War, show number 44. I'm your host Sil and we are a day late. I do apologize about that, but well, let's jump into how was my week in sort of Warcraft and not. This is so not interesting for those who are not interested in anything that has to do with real life. But I decided yesterday, actually I decided it on Saturday, that I wanted a new tank for our turtle. We have if you want to Google it, a loggerhead musk turtle, and I've had her for over 10 years, and she's grown quite a bit. But I thought that her tank was far too small now for the amount of length she's gained, basically, because she's a big girl now. And I thought, okay, well, I want a new tank, and when I have something in my head, it has to happen immediately, preferably yesterday. So I decided to look around on secondhand places where they sell secondhand tanks, Facebook being a great one for that. And I found a really good tank by chance, really. It was posted like an hour before I responded, so I thought, it might be gone, but I'm just going to try. And it was really cheap, and I thought it was a good size. And so I messaged them, it was still there, so we had to go there in the afternoon because they were out, all fine. So we got there, finally, after arranging. We had to get like a big truck also to put everything in, because it came with a cabinet to put it in. And the good thing about this tank for turtles is that it was open at the top, because if you have an enclosed tank, like most aquariums really are, they can get respiratory issues, and that's not something I wanted to do to my turtle. I mean, I've had her for so long. This girl's going to stay with me for like a very long time. And yeah, I saw this and it was ideal. So we picked it up. It was a bit smaller than I expected. It was a little bit like thinner, like not as wide or as deep or high, if you will. So I thought, well, let's just try it. So brought the tank home. Then we had to, of course, buy new stuff for it, because all her sand and gravel, I just didn't really like the gravel. I wanted proper sand for her. So we went to a aquarium shop. Wow. Hello. My wallet just cried, honestly. Yeah, that was a lot of money that we spent on not even that many things. So bought sand, and then we had to wash the sand, because that's also something you have to do. Wash the sand, then we had to install a filter, because we also bought a new filter. Yeah, needless to say, me and my boyfriend are not really that good with reading instructions, so we were trying to figure it out for over an hour how to do it. But eventually, the filter is working, so we have a working pump. The thermostat had to be rebought, because I wanted one with a cover so that she wouldn't burn herself, because she has a tendency to rest on them. And then, of course, we needed some new plants and, anything to make it really nice. And that was a lot of work. It was about 9 o'clock. And then we still had to, clean the old tank once we transferred her. We had to... You can't leave that standing there. So, we wanted to finish it. And by then, I just didn't really want to podcast anymore. So that was my non-Warcraft events. Now, let's go to the Warcraft stuff. I can be very, very short about that, because I did the same thing over and over again until I started to get really, really sick and tired of it. And that's rep grinding. So I went into Nazjatar. Don't get me wrong, I do not mind Nazjatar, but I do hate doing dailies. I really, really despise it. Maybe not when you're trying to work towards something, you're like, but now I'm just like, I want this flying, and once I've done this, I still need to do Mechagon, which I hate even more. I'm okay with Nazjatar because there's always something to see, and I like the Bejeweled quests. I can't help it. I really, really do enjoy that, and the puzzles with the that the lines can't cross. I'm all fine with those. Even the jellyfish thing, I'm perfectly happy with. It's the killing of stuff, even though it goes really quick. I don't know, it feels very much the same over and over again. And I know it's a daily, so yeah, it will give you that feeling, but I'm just a bit fucking bored with it, if I'm honest. I try to do Mechagon in between because I noticed that there's less quests. Maybe it's me, but I feel like there's less quests there, so when I do have, you know, the right mindset, I just go in there as well and try to do them. But so far I've kind of have like kind of given up on the reputation grinds as hardcore as I did it. I know some of you have already posted that you have your flying. I can't be fucked, guys, honestly. I'm just like, you know what, I'll keep that for now and again when I'm really bored. I'll keep an eye on my mission boards, and if there's a rep for Najatar and Mechagon, yay, but otherwise, if I feel like it, I'll do them, otherwise, fuck it. So, that brings me to another thing though, because I tried to play that rogue on the Alliance side, but I keep thinking, I could be flying now. I could be flying doing this. Do I really want to run here, or do I want to fly? So, you know, it doesn't make playing that great. So I'm a little bit stuck at the moment, which makes me think that maybe I should just go and level something else completely. I might actually go to that Dark Iron Shaman or the Colteran that I had, the mage. She was actually quite fun. Just because I don't have to think about flying in BFA for a little bit. But yeah, I'm finding it incredibly frustrating a little bit and demotivating just not seeing that rep bar go up. And I know the Dark Moon Fair is there now, so you could get an extra 10%. Yeah, I didn't. So, I don't know. Maybe I've just been too busy, and then doing that I don't find particularly fun, so I didn't do much. Sorry. So that's really been my WoW time. I'm actually also debating just jumping back into RP for a little bit, just because I haven't done that in a while, and I kind of miss it, and it gives you a different pace in the game, and maybe that will push me into doing something more. So I might actually take my Alliance Rogue into Stormwind and just see if I can find some walk-up RP, and we'll see. We shall see. Anyhow, someone who had lots to say was the lovely Gwen, so I will leave you with an interview with her, and then I'll come back with all your replies about flying, 8.2 and all the sorts after the interview, so I'll see you on the flip side. And with me today I am being joined by a lovely female voice this time. I think it's time for some girls to make an appearance again on the show. Welcome, Gwen.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing pretty all right. How are you?
I'm good. I mean, it's Saturday for us, so, you know, no work. It's all good. It's all groovy. And yes. Stranger Things is out, you know, the third season, so...
Oh, yeah. That's on my list.
Yeah, my day's planned. I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone, but I've watched 6 episodes. It's amazing. So that's all I'm saying.
So excited.
Anyhow, Gwen, enough about Stranger Things. Let's talk about you. So why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm just your average gamer girl. Big fan of Blizzard. Played since I was like 11, so it's been like 15 years. I'm huge into like fantasy, like the high fantasy, epic fantasy stuff. I'm a lore nerd, but I'm no expert by any means.
Okay.
But I'm pretty obsessed with lore. It's mostly why I play my games, is to hunt down those secret tales that are over here. I have some pets. They're all named after Blizzard games. It's kind of my theme I got going.
Okay.
So, yeah. They're cats, 2 cats, Sylvanas and Arthas. Then I got my chinchilla. Her name is Impsy. She hops around like an imp, so I had to get that one in there. I got some fish. Nazoth, he's a pretty big snail, and he moves around with weird little tentacly things, so I thought that was pretty fitting.
I absolutely love it, and you know what? Kudos for you also having a chinchilla. I love it.
Yeah, she's adorable. We just got her a new cage. That was my morning setting it up.
And I know how expensive those cages can be, because they need a lot of room.
Oh yeah, she looks so much happier in it.
That's totally adorable. Okay, so I know that you do some stuff online as well, as you told me before the interview. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So I do a lot of like in-game screenshot photography stuff, and that's mostly where I post on Instagram. I do some streaming, primarily Overwatch and Dark Souls games, and that's on Twitch and my Facebook.
Okay, well, we'll put links at the end of the show where you can again promote everything so people can find you.
Yeah.
So let's go to the World of Warcraft side of things. I'm curious, Horde or Alliance?
Horde for sure.
Ah, okay. That's a long time since I've talked to anyone on the Horde. Why the Horde?
So I actually started as an Alliance character. My first character was an Alliance human warlock, because it was kind of like the darkest character I could be as Alliance. And my brother was the one who got me started. And since he had a human, I was like, oh, well, I'll be a human too. And I really liked how you had to like go to the graveyard to find your trainer because they were like shunned. And once Burning Crusade came out, I went with a blood elf, because elves are cool and they were addicted to the fel, and that was really intriguing. And ever since then, really, I've just always had my blood elf. And I like the way that the Horde side is set up. The Alliance has more of a hierarchy with the way they choose their kings and queens and leaders. And I feel like the Horde side's a little bit more choose your leader based on strength or certain skills.
I think that's fair enough to pick the Horde. I mean, yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, I've tried playing Alliance, and I couldn't. I like honestly wanted to play a Void Elf, did all the work for it, went over to the Alliance, and I'm like, this just doesn't feel right.
You hear that a lot from players who've played on one side for a very long time, because I've been there myself, being an Alliance player for so many years, and then I made the switch to Horde. And I found it very difficult in the beginning with the Horde side, even though now I have to admit, don't tell my Alliance guildie sis, that I am much more of a Horde person. But, you know, because of reasons, I still play Alliance. But,
right.
I completely understand where you're coming from. Do you still play the Blood Elf, or did you change anything for the latest expansion?
I do still play Blood Elf, however, I'm really into the Nightborn. So I have a character that I kind of set her up in a way where she is exploring the world that she's been locked away from for so long, and I'm using that character to get Lore Master.
Nice. Now, hearing you, might make a bit of assumption here. Do you play on an RP server by any chance?
Just a little bit, maybe.
How are you finding playing? No judgment, because everyone knows that I'm a massive RPer in the game, and I play on one of the biggest European roleplay servers. How is that? How are you finding being on an RP server? What does it do in comparison to other servers, you think?
Well, I'm pretty casual when it comes to RP. A lot of it's in my head, so as I'm playing, I feel like I'm role-playing. And when I'm talking to people, I talk as if I'm my character, but it's not... I don't use like old speech or anything or fancy like that. I do a lot of side things, like my mage can make little arcane familiars, and I just randomly hand them out to people and try to like push RP on them in that way.
Okay. Now, this is a question because I get this from a lot of people who don't play on an RP server, and I'm quite curious about what you do. When you group up, if you group up in a party that's, you know, when you do LFR or are looking for a group for a dungeon, and you get randomized with people from other servers, do you stay in character, or is that the moment when you're like, no, party chat, no, I'm not in character now?
So generally, I will have the raid or party chat as just kind of normal talking, and then if I use like yell or say, I'm in my character.
Okay, because a lot of people go like, oh, those RPers, they're just, you know, what do you do then? You just RP when there's like, and I'm like, not when you're queued up with random people, because, yeah, they might find that strange and everything, but, you know.
Yeah, so I do a bit of both. It's just I use the different chat systems to make it happen.
Very clever, very clever. Okay, so let's go about when it all started for you. So you said that your brother got you into it.
Yeah.
How did it all start?
So my brother's quite a bit older than me, about 12 years, and he had shown me one of the trailers when WoW first came out. And I don't know what it was, but the Fell Infernal, when it crashes into the ground, that image has always stuck with me as just like one of the most badass things. So that was another reason I chose Blood Elf, because I was like, Fell? Blood Elf? What? So we used to go hang out with my brother, and he would let my sister and I have a younger sister, and we would trade off like every hour or so. Like I'd play for an hour, she played for an hour, and eventually everyone would fall asleep and I'd play for 5 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. So I started out with that, and I had no idea what I was doing. I was still really new to gaming at my age. We didn't have consoles or things at my house. It was all my brother's stuff. But I just fumbled my way through, and I did end up doing some dungeons, and people didn't hate me, so.
That's always a positive.
Oh yeah. I was didn't know what I was doing, but I made it work.
Okay, and then of course the switch to the Horde side. Did your brother also move to the Horde side, or is it just now I did this on my own? And
I had done that on my own when Burning Crusade came out. He was showing me some of the new stuff, and I was like, oh, I can play that?
And that was it then.
Mm-hmm. It was really interesting because I didn't really pay. My brother played a human arcane mage. Like that's where he started pouring most of his talents into.
Mm-hmm.
I always liked wizards and such. So it took me a while to realize that I pretty much made my brother's character as a blood elf. And I was just sitting like at max level, an expansion, and going, wait a second, I'm still playing my brother's character in a way.
All right, very cool. Now, what I really liked about when I started chatting with you to find out the topic, it was that you actually had something that no one else had suggested before, and now maybe previous guests are like, wait a minute, I did, but I'm sorry guys, I can't remember. So I really liked it that you picked craft, because not to be punny, but it is World of Warcraft. So I'm like, okay, that could be really interesting. So why did you want to choose the crafts and arts and stuff for your topic? Why did you pick it?
It's just something that I get to bring the fantasy that I like from games a little bit more into my life. And that's always nice. So while I'm at work being all blah, I have stuff to like look at or have ideas that I can use.
Okay. So when did this start, and how did it start?
Well, my mom's an artist, so I was kind of always into that sort of thing. And then I just started finding ways to use it. So, for instance, I want to do the Lore Master, but there's these books you can find throughout Azeroth, and you can read them. And I've been taking screenshots of them, and to practice calligraphy, which is a form of art, I'll take pictures of the books and I'll transpose them into this book. So now I have like a hard copy of all these in-game books.
Wow, that is really good. You know what? I could already see some people going like, where do I buy this? Because I bet you some people are really, really keen for that.
Yeah, I've been taking pictures of like the scrolls and such you can find as well, and I've been buying some little scrolls. I'm gonna write those on there, kind of make myself a little library.
That is really cool. Okay, so books and scrolls. Is there anything else that you do that you create?
Yeah. So I made a lot of people put banners on their walls, or banners or posters or whatever. So I thought, well, I can sew. I'll just do some embroidery and make myself an actual banner. And so I went and did that, and it's pretty cool. I have some like Halloween skulls I bought, and I put those on the side because it's a Horde banner, of course. I found my mom has chickens, so I took some of those feathers and cleaned them all up, and I have some feathers hanging off. Looks pretty legit. So I have that on my wall, and then I made a little banner. It's probably about 5 inches, and I have that one hanging up at work.
Okay, that's really cool. Do you get inspiration from other games as well, or is it or books or anything else, or is it just World of Warcraft that gets you to create things?
So the two big things that I like are World of Warcraft and like From Software games such as like Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and I've been taking from that as well. I have a Dark Souls banner I'm working on right now, the Solaire Light Covenant. Do you know what that is?
I have no idea, but I'm sure other people who listen do.
Yeah, so I have that in the works. I even with like I play D&D, so my dungeon master bought some minis that were unpainted, and I've been using my my artwork of Blizzard Entertainment book and finding some cool like color schemes that match characters. And so I've been kind of using some classic WoW looking color schemes on my D&D minis as well.
Wow, that's really cool. That's really cool. And I presume that people can see pictures of your artwork on your Instagram?
Yes, they can.
We definitely need to put that link out there then in a bit. Okay, yeah. Would you say it's an expensive hobby?
Not really. For instance, like I do like meringue cookies too. So I've made like those look like little Hearthstones, and it's just like, if you're gonna bake a dessert, why not make it kind of themed?
That's really nice. I like that.
Yeah, so I did Hearthstones recently, and another thing I like with doing crafts is I bring it out into the world a little bit more. Like these cookies I made look like Hearthstones. So when I brought them into work for people, you know, like, hey, what's that? That looks kind of cute. And I get to talk about my favorite thing with people at work.
That's really nice. Have you ever had people who all of a sudden come out of the woodworks going, oh, you're also a Blizzard player, or has that ever happened?
Yeah. Not as often as I'd like, but it does happen. I met someone at my previous job who played WoW because they saw me working on the banner, and they're like, for the Alliance, and I just like, wait, what? You know Blizzard? What? So, yeah.
That's really, really nice. Have you ever thought about, because you know, when you take a look, for instance, on, let's pick the biggest one out there, like Etsy, you see a lot of people actually advertising their crafts around World of Warcraft. Is that something that you thought I might want to do in the future?
Yeah, in the future, I'm kind of getting some ideas of what would be good products to sell and which ones would be worth my time to do. Making the banner, for instance, I took my time with that. It's a lot of very intricate work, so something like that would maybe be a no, but I made like little Hearthstones for my friends and decorated them to like match the personalities and sent them to them. These are friends I met online through Blizzard, so something like that, something smaller maybe.
That's really cool. Well, if you ever do bookmarks, then give me a prod, because I'm a sucker for any kind of bookmarks that have to do with that. But yeah, I like that. That's really, really nice. Okay. Now, there's a lot of people out there who do a lot of arts and crafts. I've seen some amazing work. I think for me, with my background, I always am very, very interested in all the digital art that is out there. Fabelina is one of them that I just think is amazing. How do you feel about all the people that are basically getting all this creativity from a game? Does it make you feel like a tight-knit community a little bit, like that you're part of it and you're just taking it a little bit further, or how does it make you feel seeing all that creativity?
Oh, I love it. I think it's such a great creative outlet. It really brings World of Warcraft more to life because people can add their characters. I've seen a lot where people will do like the head bust or whatever of their characters or full portrait or whatever, and you just see the in-game like outfits and such, but their character has such personality, which they've done better with, I think. When you do like the selfie camera in WoW now, you can get like facial expressions, but I just feel like all the creators out there bring so much more life to the game, so much more like their own personal characters out of all your standard models that you have in game.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. One of the big things when Blizzard is celebrating, you know, the creativity is cosplay. What's your opinion on the whole cosplay I would almost say it's not like a battle, but the whole experience in BlizzCon and what we see with the virtual ticket or when you actually go to BlizzCon. How do you feel about the whole cosplay scene?
I really like it as well. I think that it's fun to see how much some people can do with so little. The minimalistic ones are sometimes my favorite because you're like, oh man, like watching people build them on like their Instagrams or whatever of their progress. I'm like, oh wait, yeah, that would actually be a really good way to make that piece of an outfit. I like the talent building that it has too. So it's not just art, because I know a lot of people struggle with art. It's something more hands-on for cosplay.
Okay. Is it anything that you would want to try your hand at in the future?
Oh, I would love to, but that'd be a way future project.
Now, talking about that, is there something that you're like, you know what, this is what I would like to create next, or this is my big thing that I want to do like in several months or several years? What would be that thing that you're like, yeah, that's definitely something I want to aim for?
So right now I have problems with my desk height. My chairs never really fit for my short legs. So I was actually going to be going in-game, looking around at some of like the mage area, like stuff in Dalaran, and I was gonna actually design and build a desk that's gonna look similar to in-game assets.
Wow, that's a big project.
Yes, that's my big, as you said, like 5-year project. I gotta go find which one I want, start designing it. My dad does a lot of woodworking, so I'm gonna hopefully use some of his tools.
That is really cool. Well, I wish you a lot of luck with that, but that sounds like an amazing project.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited.
Yeah, I can imagine. Is there anything else that you would like to say about craft and creating stuff from Blizzard?
Yeah, just give it a go. Find some little thing in the game that sticks out to you and maybe do a little doodle of it. Even simple drawings. They just help make you happy. You're like, oh look, it's a Murloc. It looks kind of dumb, but it's cute.
No, I agree with you. That's, you know what, I've seen a lot of great things out there, and some people might think it's like nothing to them, but other people might absolutely adore it, you know. I've read a lot of, and I know people poo-poo it, but I actually quite like some of the fan art I've read out there, and some of the stories are amazing, and I don't understand that some people don't have their own book set yet, because they can write amazing things. So yeah, doodles or writing or anything, you know, why not? And like you say, you know, I mean, with the cookies, that's just a brilliant idea.
Yeah, it's very cute. If you can do it like with almost anything, just give it a go.
Sounds good. I hope that everyone now at home is like, oh yeah, we need to start creating something. Okay, let's bring it back to a current World of Warcraft. So, a Battle for Azeroth. We just had 8.2. We already agreed that if we talk about spoilers, we will give everyone a warning. But I am really curious of what has got you most impressed and what has gotten you least impressed with the current state of Battle for Azeroth.
All right, so if I had to choose, because oh man, do I love BFA, I think I'd go with the World Quest. I do a lot of playing alone. I have a guild and we do raid nights and stuff, but I spend a lot of time just me and my character. And I love some of these new World Quests. The mage boxes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, those are so much fun. Like, I love finding them and doing those ones. And I like my profession so far. That's pretty good. The Blood Inscription quest was kind of dark, and I like that sort of thing.
Okay. And what are you least impressed with?
Let's see. I'd have to go with Dying and Najdatar. Like, that's probably the worst one with me right now, because it feels a little bit more like Classic, where it's a long way to your corpse. And there's a lot more of that vertical space too, so you're like, wait, was I on this level or on that level? Was I in that cave in that level? Yeah.
It all looks so difficult when it's all like in grey and white, and you're like, I'm not quite sure if this is it.
Yeah, but at least there's good background music. I love that graveyard music.
That's good. That's a little bit of a positive, I guess. I had the same with dying in Basic Zulazar, but you know what? At least I see one zombie, so it's not too bad.
Right. Yeah, there's one other thing that I've been having a hard time with, and that's my bag space. I have the biggest bags. I have even the extra little authenticator 4 slots. And oh my goodness, I don't have those fancy trampoline mounts. So I'm always like, I'm glad I'm a mage, just hearth on back and take care of what I need to.
Do you feel it's gotten worse after Mechagon?
Yes, so I've been pretty good with my bag space so far in Battle for Azeroth, but this new patch, that's where it seems to have started.
I hear that from a lot of people. It's starting to become difficult now.
But I do enjoy all the items they're giving you. It is worth having my bags full. It's just kind of like, but what about all these things that I can sell? I don't want to drop my grays. They're worth money.
Exactly. And we all know since Classic how important gold is, so you know,
yes,
just get rid of stuff like that.
Yep.
Okay, so do you have any good tips for the listeners regarding Battle for Azeroth?
Yeah, really take your time and explore the side stories. I won't be too specific on this one, but there's Madarvis? So, I think that's how you pronounce it. He has a pretty interesting thing going on, and I'm excited to find all of his diary pages and put that story together more.
Ooh, so that's a good tip for anyone who hasn't, because I was like, I think I've heard of that, but I can't remember it. So that would be an interesting thing to look for then, because there's definitely a lot to explore in the new 2 islands, I would say. Even though Nastar's not really an island, but you know.
Right. I haven't even made it to Mechagon. I've been trying so hard to like, all right, let's just finish this quest up. And there's my cat. And I just, ooh, what's this cave over here? Ooh, what's this tunnel over there? I'm so distracted.
I think that's a good thing. At least, you know,
yes.
the patch is keeping us busy, so that's a good thing. What has the Warcraft community meant to you?
So, this is a multifaceted question, I think. For me, a lot of times, like if I'm having a bad day, for instance, I can just log on and I'm like, all right, guys, what's up? Let's focus on something happy. And there's always people who will just talk to you. And I really appreciate that. It also makes me feel less alone because I don't have a lot of people around me at like work or friends or anything who are into Blizzard. So having such a huge community online that I can just share that passion with, it's very exciting.
It's really good, and you hear that a lot. I think it's almost like coming home, isn't it? When you talk to people who are into the same thing as you are, because you know you're not being judged for what you enjoy. That's
Yeah.
Nice. I like that. Okay, and now comes the final question of the interview, which is sometimes a little bit more weird. So I'm going to explain it to everyone at home who hasn't heard it before. What is your whisper? And your whisper could be anything. It could be basically anything that you want to make people aware of. So it could be, it's basically food for thought, if I have to summarize it. So it could be fairy crafting, something you want for the future for World of Warcraft. It could even be like an add-on that you're looking for, or maybe a wish, something like that. So if you had to pick a whisper, what would yours be?
I think I'd go with kill them with kindness.
Okay, would you like to elaborate on that one?
Yeah, so I've had a lot of times, you know, especially with blockade, where people are just hitting their head against the wall, almost literally a wall, and you just offer what you can to the group. If someone's like, oh man, we can't do this because this person's doing that, etc., etc., just be like, all right, what can I do to help fix that problem? And go over the negativity and just offer what you can to them. And sometimes I've had so many times where people were just like, oh, we're just gonna finish this, we're just gonna leave. And people are like, all right, well, no, like, let's actually try that. And it ends up working, and then we finish the raid and we're all happy.
I think, you know what, that's a really good one, because I think we need more positivity in the game, and you can already slowly see. You say you haven't been to Mechagon yet, but I can already see, like, for instance, in Mechagon, that there's a lot of, like, people who are talking in trade, or in the general, actually, I mean, saying, oh, there's a rare here, let's group up. You can see that people are helping each other a lot more. So I think the positivity message, that's a good one. I think we all need to hold on to that one. Okay. Right, Gwen, thank you so much for this interview. It was so lovely talking to you.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
About my favorite things.
That's always a good thing. So if people want to find more about you and about your crafts and all those things, where can they find you on the internet?
So I mostly post on Instagram, and that's Gwen Dark Iris. I will do streaming on Twitch at Dark Iris. My Facebook will be linked. It's a pretty weird link. And then my Twitter is also Gwen Dark Iris.
Perfect. And I will make sure that all those links are in the show notes, so people can just go to the website to find everything there and start to follow you. Thank you so much again. This was a really great interview. I love talking to you.
Yeah, thank you again so much.
So I hope you enjoyed that interview. It was lovely talking to Gwen. So let's go back to things that you said. You know, I did ask about the crafts, but it seems that maybe it wasn't the right question for you guys. Because I'm not saying only because, you know, I don't really want to say that Toshmifun is the only person who replied, because I don't know, he's such a great personality, he counts for 10 people. So, Toshmifun said, well, since you asked, Grin, Professor Talib and I did create branded hoodies and coffee mugs for at Half Hill Report for ourselves. Oh, and yeah, we created the Half Hill Report itself. Does that count? Absolutely, it still counts. I think podcasting is a craft, isn't it? A little bit. Other people have drawing skills or sewing skills or woodworking or baking skills, and we have podcasting skills. At least you guys have. I'm just stumbling along. So that's for the crafts. If you do something with crafts, or you know, you buy lots from Etsy that's World of Warcraft related or something else, then just let me know, because I'm quite curious about that. I'm always on the lookout for more merchandisement. Is that the word? Merchandise? I don't know English. Anyhow, let's go back to what you guys said about 8.2. Because some people responded for last week's show. And let's go to Commander MacGyver, the lovely MacGyver. He said, irritated that I haven't finished the Horde storyline. Totally my own fault before starting Nazjatar. But liking Nazjatar so far. That's good. I'm happy that you're enjoying it. Now let's go to Scrubs versus the World. They said, I'm loving it. Finally get to meet the Queen Ashara herself, and it's been awesome. Seeing her everywhere and knowing she's watching our every move feels like it did back when Arthas was stalking us in Northrend. The increased mob difficulty has also made it fun. Okay, good. Yeah, and I do agree, actually. It does make you feel like she's watching you, but I feel like she's on like a different kind of level than Arthas. So remember that question I asked last week about what was happening with Undasta, when Nick said, you know, he was watching people wonder why Undasta keeps disappearing when they try to kill it. And he said to my response, hunters can now tame Undasta, so it shrinks and disappears when tamed instead of being killed. Not everyone out there knew about it, but I think they figured it out by now. So hunters, if you still need to have a nice pet, maybe you should go and tame Undasta. So yeah, that's a lot of other things for last week. So let's jump into what I wanted to know from you this week, which was, besides the craft thing, if you guys already have flying, or if you're struggling just as much as me. So let's see what everyone said. I'm really sorry if I butcher your names. You know by now that I have a tendency to do that. I should really not apologize for it anymore, because there's no way of fixing this for me. Ike, AIG, I think that's how you say it, Ike or Ike, said, I unlocked flying on the 8th day of 8.2 being out. I just wanted to fly. 8th day? Oh god, I would almost give you my account and just let you do it, but you know what? You know, not allowed. Not allowed. Okay. So let's go to every class. Every class said, no flying from me. I logged in once since 8.2, patiently awaiting Classic. Now, in all fairness, I can't really blame you for that, because I'm kind of like waiting for Classic to come out. Like I said, I still play retail. I will always play retail because I want to see the story, but Classic, man, I don't know if I'm overhyping it in my head, but yeah. Okay. Navox said, revered in Mechagon and about 2500 away from Najatar. Non-stop farming rep. So much fun. I don't know if that was sarcasm, considering there was a very sad SpongeBob in your gif. I think that was sarcasm. But yeah, I feel you. I feel you on that. Nick Z said, slowly working my way around Najatar. We'll get to Mechagon in time. Flying will come when it comes. I think that's actually a good one. It will come when it comes, but it's just... it's a lot of work. Mike said, and I'm going to say Mike, also known as Moochanger. Is it Moochanger? Said, yep. I don't know if you are far away from the rep or if you have it, if you have the flying now. If so, congratulations. Kai Sharky Boy said, I haven't unlocked it yet. Been too busy with life stuff. I still need to get the rep, but I'm also a little stuck on exploring Najatar. Any tips for finding those secret caves? Well, they're kind of secret, aren't they? So, I don't think I can. Well, the only thing I can say from the secret caves that I found is jump out of from lots of ledges, and all of a sudden there's a cave there. They tend to hide a lot in the water, so under the water, and then you go upwards again, or behind waterfalls or near waterfalls is also where I've seen them. So that's really what I would say about the secret caves. Assault, and when I see that, I immediately think of a state of trance, and I'm sure that that's not why you have that abbreviation. But Assault said, fun and engaging, so that's good. So you are enjoying everything, that's good. And Lord Xanthus said, gotta beat all them pets. Are you going to beat all the new pets that you can get in Najatar? Because I've seen some battle pets there, and I have not tried it at all because my pet battling skills suck, so I haven't done that really. Right, guys, I know it's a bit of a shorter show, but at least there's a show. That's how I positive thinking. I need to do more shopping for the little turtle. She needs more items, clearly, because I need to spoil all my pets. And I will talk to you guys next week. Now, of course, if you want to contact the show, you can do that in different ways. You can always go to the website, which is whispersofwar.podbean.com. All the links and for Gwen will be there as well, for all the other guests that you might hear from the other shows. Go there as well. You will find all their links to follow them. You can follow me as well on Twitter at whispers_of_war, or my private one, which is McMonkeys with a Z. You can email whispersofwarpodcast@gmail.com, and Twitch. As much as I wanted it to happen this week, it didn't, but I'm sure it will be soon. Not next week, I have to say, because I'm not here. I have to go away for business, unfortunately, guys. So I think it will be a very quiet week in regards to World of Warcraft. But if I can play, I will be on twitch.tv/McMonkeys with 2 Zs. So you can always already give me a follow, just so that if I do go live, you might get a notification then, at least, And that's really it. So have a wonderful time, and Azeroth, don't kill yourself with, the rep grinds for flying, even though I'm sure we're all doing it in some way. And I will talk to you all next week. Bye-bye.
This show is brought to you by Dragon Powered Studio. Find more at dragonpoweredstudio.com.